Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Team McCauley coming with another video. Today we have some more VGC 17 battles here on the battle spot with the Torkoal Oranguru Trick Room Sun team that I've been using. Been thinking about a new team. A friend suggested that I use all the Tapus and all the weather setters. So I'm thinking in the next one maybe I've been wanting to experiment with Tapu Fini just because the Misty Terrain, in my opinion, is my favorite. Just because it prevents any status. So if you go, I feel like it could be really good on some hyper offensive teams or even on some bulky teams, to where your opponent can't poison you or burn you. Paralysis hasn't been seen very much. I like to run Misty Terrain in Gen 6 when Paralysis is pretty strong, in the Dark Void Smeargle, of course. But we'll have to see what goes on. I definitely want to experiment with Tapu Fini. Tapu Lele is alright in my opinion. It can be strong. If I do run into most likely be with the Psychic Sea Crystal, just so we get that offense. But enough of that. We're going to go ahead and get to this first battle. Very interesting one. I don't know if we've played against any rain teams. I think I played up against one, but I think that was a Politoed rain team, not a Wingull rain team. So first battle, we're going off against a Wingull rain team. It's going to be Wingull, Golduck, Tapu Lele, Metagross, Tapu Koko, and Celesteela. So interesting. Obviously, we're going to see our Golduck get Swift Swim, so it's going to be a problem if he leads with the Golduck and the Wingull, just because he can be able to outspeed everything. I was surprised he didn't bring Tapu Koko here, just because I didn't have. Well, I guess I did have the Alolan Trio. Let's say I didn't have anything to deal with it, but I just remembered I have Alolan Trio. I still thought he was going to bring it because other than the Alolan Trio struggles in this matchup because he's got 2 Water type Pokemon. So in the Celesteela, yeah, you don't really want to bring that, and the Metagross, since I do have Torkoal on my team. So I did bring Alolan Trio. It did well against his Tapu Lele, his Tapu Koko, his Metagross. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I was thinking about leading Torkoal, but I was like, Tapu Bulu Oranguru is a much stronger lead, and he leads with Pelipper and Golduck. So here I'm thinking I'm in a pretty decent spot since I do have Tapu Bulu. These are both special attackers, so even if he double targets me, I'm not going to go down. And Oranguru also in a pretty good spot, I'd say. I'm expecting the Water Z move to come off, so I protect with the Oranguru, since he definitely wouldn't go for that in the Golduck, and sure enough, we do see it. So I was kind of doubting how much damage it's going to do. I was like, should I have switched in Torkoal for my Tapu Bulu so that my Oranguru could take less damage? But we are going to see the Hydro Vortex. We don't know. I don't know if it was over a Scald or over a Surf or over a Hydro Pump. But I was like, okay, that's actually pretty respectable damage. I can't be too upset about that. And we do see the Hurricane from the Pelipper. So here I'm like, as long as I don't get confused, I should be in a really good spot. I go for the Hornleech into the Golduck, since it is super effective stab and Grassy Terrain boosted. That's going to pick up the knockout. And I'm okay with taking all that damage because I'm just going to heal a bunch of it back up. So a good turn 1 for me. I was able to take out a big offensive threat on his part. I made him use a Z Crystal as well. I knew he was going for it, so I protected. So my Tapu Bulu is pretty much at full health after the Hornleech recovery and the Grassy Terrain recovery. So he's going to bring in his Tapu Lele here to change up the terrain a little bit. But against my Oranguru, there's not really anything this Tapu Lele can do. So he goes for Psychic, obviously into the Tapu Bulu. So that's going to do about 50%, and we're going to see the Scald from the Pelipper. I didn't even consider that. It did quite a bit of damage. I go for Stone Edge in the Pelipper here, just to see if I can get some damage off. And I set up the Trick Room. So what's good is we just saw from that turn that Tapu Bulu is slower than both of his Pokemon. So here he protects with Pelipper. I was thinking this would be a good opportunity to knock out the Pelipper. 1, to just pick up a knockout, and 2, to be able to win the Weather War indefinitely. Because if I have a Oranguru and Torkoal up under Trick Room, I can just go for an Eruption Instruct. So here I go for an Instruct to try and get the Stone Edge off on the Pelipper, and then I was going to go for a Hornleech into the... I double targeted. I went for the Hornleech in that slot, hoping to pick up the knockout with Stone Edge, and then get the Hornleech into the Tapu Lele, or if I miss the Stone Edge, I would just go for get the Hornleech off anyways. But here I'm like, actually I can take out this Pelipper with my Oranguru. Since the Psychic trains up, I'd probably be doing around 50% damage. So he fails to double protect, and I get a nice Hornleech off on the Tapu Lele. And with the recovery, that's actually going to bring me up to where I'm going to be able to survive another Psychic from this Tapu Lele. So Tapu Bulu, Ahsopa's Tapu Bulu in these last few battles has come up pretty big. So I think it's more than anything because people aren't expecting it. Like, for example, a Meteor Mash from this Metagross would form my Tapu Bulu. So that's why I switched into Torkoal here. Put on some offensive pressure. I'm expecting, like, he could double target into that slot, but I was thinking he'd go for a Meteor Mash or some sort of Steel-type move here. I was just hoping he doesn't go for a Zen Headbutt into that slot. And Tapu Lele is going to protect just because it was low, trying to keep it around a little bit longer. And we just see the Meteor Mash go into the Torkoal. It's gonna, or excuse me, into the Oranguru. I forgot about that. So he's gonna end up surrendering right there because an Eruption Instruct would have ended it right there. Trick Room was getting close to ending, so I feel like if he could have gotten the Double Protect, I think he would have or Trick Room would have expired. I guess he wouldn't have been able to knock me out. Knocked out my Torkoal specifically. Plus, I have a low Inductor in the back. So, I mean, I played that pretty well. That Z Crystal got wasted in the beginning. That's one of the things that sucks when in the Weather War. I mean, the rain obviously, or water is stronger than fire, but when the sun's up, you still do less damage with your water type moves and everything. So it's still a decent matchup. I just remember with no Mega Charizard Y, there's not really any like Solar Beam going on in the sun. So I feel like Mega Charizard Y would have it does have a better matchup against rain teams, especially when it was back in Politoed. When you could get a Solar Beam off, that would do like 50%. So pretty solid game. So I saw that Tapu Bulu really coming through right there. And that first turn protect kind of sealed the deal. I don't know if that did 25%. Because I think when you protect, you take 25% of the damage. So that might have knocked me. I might have also barely survived. But still, all in all, a good one. So this next battle, we're going up against a pretty interesting team. My opponent had, I was going to say Cutie Fly. I think that's Ribombi. I think that's its name. Goodra, Celesteela, Garchomp, Mudsdale, and Oricorio Pom Pom, which is the electric flying one. So I was really intrigued by some of those Pokemon. This Ribombi thing, it's Bug, Fairy. So I was like, okay, well, that's his Fairy type Pokemon. And he has the Oricorio. I don't know what either of these two do. I've never seen them before. But I know Tapu Bulu is going to have a pretty good matchup here since he's got two Dragons, the Mudsdale, and even against a Celesteela, if I could just get a Nature's Madness off, that's going to help me out a ton. So, and then if he did bring the Mudsdale, I could have gotten a Hornleech off. Or even a Hammer Arm. No, Wood Hammer. So this still probably would have been 2-hit KO since Mudsdale's so bulky. But I was like, I'm definitely leading him. Salmon's is going to be really nice here as well since he does have the Goodra. So I'm going to need that Devastating Drake nuke at the precise moment. Also for Mudsdale in case worst comes to worst. I decided to bring Torkoal here instead of Drampa just for that Celesteela. Just for the Celesteela. That thing can be a problem if you let it. So I was just saying there's no way I'm going to let this thing become a problem, and I'm just going to immediately pick up or try and knock it out as soon as possible. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. I lead with Tapu Bulu Salamence, pretty safe lead, and he goes with Ribombi and Goodra. So I'm pretty comfortable with this lead. There's just a lot of things I can do here. Like immediately, I'm not going to go for the Devastating Drake and the Goodra, but I could go for a Nature's Madness to take away half its health immediately, and that would be huge for me. That big defensive threat. But I was thinking at the same time, this Ribombi doesn't really have anything to fear. So he's probably he's not going to protect, so it'll just be like a pretty safe double target. He ends up switching Goodra and the Celesteela. I was like, too bad I didn't go for Nature's Madness. It would have been nice. And we see the Quiver Dance here, and I'm like, oh boy, this thing's got Quiver Dance? Which, I mean, I guess makes sense. And especially with the Oricorio, he could have switched in Oricorio and gotten Quiver Dance, and they both would have Quiver Danced. But I go with Flamethrower, and that's going to do just over 50% after the Quiver Dance. And here I go for Stone Edge. I'm like, please connect with the Stone Edge, and I connect. And that's definitely going to be enough to pick up the knockout. So just like I said, I had no idea what this thing was going to do, but since it wasn't in a bad spot, there was no need for it to protect. So easy knockout, and he's going to bring in Garchomp here. So I'm still in a sticky situation. So I protect here with Salamence, and I actually forget that Garchomp even gets Poison Jab. So I'm like, please hold on, baby, please hold on. And boom, 5 HP, ladies and gentlemen. So and we see Hidden Power from Celesteela. I think that's the first Hidden Power Celesteela I've seen. So I go for Nature's Madness onto the Celesteela, and at this point, it's like once I bring in Torkoal, or if I can get a Fire move off with Torkoal into that slot, it's done. So here, I don't know if this was a mistake or not. I was just scared of my Salamence getting knocked out right here, so I go for my Z move. I didn't know if Draco Meteor was enough to pick up the knockout on Garchomp. I don't think so. So I just go for Devastating Drake. I don't want to risk a miss. I don't want to risk anything. I just go for the safe Devastating Drake into Garchomp, knowing that Goodra is going to be a big problem in the back, especially after the Hidden Power Ice. So, and the thing too, I left in my what's his name, Tapu Bulu here. It probably would have been a good idea to switch out because it would have been a free switch. Like if I could have gone into my Torkoal, my Torkoal right here, it would have been really nice because I don't need this damage, like I said. Or even if I went into a Oranguru, I could have set up the Trick Room and just taken out the Celesteela easy. So now he's got Goodra. And here I'm still in a pretty good spot because I do have Draco Meteor, and I decided to go pick up the knockout here on Celesteela. Because I don't want it to Leech Seed, or because I don't know what else it has. And I was like, if I knock out Celesteela and his Goodra goes for my Salamence, then I'm gonna be able to get a Nature's Madness. I have to take away half its health. But he correctly targets down the Tapu Bulu. But now I'm like, well, I still have my Draco Meteor on Salamence, so I bring in a Oranguru so I can eventually set up the Trick Room. But I protect here, saying, well, I was thinking maybe he'd try and target down that slot, and I also didn't want to set up the Trick Room in case my Salamence survived, but I missed the Draco Meteor, which is really, really unfortunate and potentially game-breaking, game-changing. So here I'm like, well, I wish I would have brought my Drampa, because Drampa here would be able to win this. I go for I guess he also would have a Dragon-type move. I don't know if I'd be able to end it, but I bring in Torkoal here, and it's a pretty close battle, to say the least. I protect with Torkoal so I can get up my free Trick Room, and once again, my opponent correctly predicts it, and he goes for the Sludge Bomb, so I'm like, well, that sucks. I missed out on a bunch of free damage. And he gets the Poison, too. So, a good old friend, the HAX, visiting me, just like when I need it the least. This is, that's a huge Poison for him. It's going to be, because the Scooter's not going to be doing much damage, just to a Oranguru. So, here I just go for an Eruption. It is resisted, but it's base 150 power, it's Sun boosted, it's Stab. So, and you see it's not going to do anything. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this thing's Assault Vest. So, I go for the Instruct just to get 2 of them off. And this is pretty much going to be the only Eruption I'm going to go for, because he's obviously going to target down the Torkoal here. So, we get about 25-30% of the damage done. And he's going to go for Sludge Bomb. And what do you know? He picks up the Poison. 2 poisons in a row. Anyone? Luckily, I carried that. I think this is the first time I've actually used my Lumberry on Torkoal. And here it's coming up big. It's still giving me a chance because that poison damage probably would have ended the game. So you're going to go for Flamethrower because I'm going for a burn now. I need this extra chip damage from the burn because I'm not going to be able to keep up. So I get the Flamethrower off, and I do get the burn. Thank goodness. A little bit of HAX going back my way. And I go for Instruct just to increase my chances of getting the burn. So it's still an interesting place because now he just got below 50% and he's got the burn. And we're gonna see a Draco Meteor here. So I was like, ooh, if I can survive this, well, even if if I survive this, it's pretty much over for my opponent. So 3 HP, ladies and gentlemen, bulky Trick Room Torkoal. That's why you got to run him bulky. So here, it's we're still in a very, very tight spot. So here I'm going for a double protect to get as much burn damage off as I can. My Oranguru is taking poison damage, which is true, but I just need to get as much damage off on this Goodra as I can. Because now that he's at -2, this Goodra's not going to be doing too much. If I went for a Psychic that turn, that would have been huge for me. Just these little predictions. But here I'm just playing it safe because I'm pretty confident in my damage output to be able to win this. So I go for my hidden power ice here. Since flamethrower probably would have, I think still would have done more damage. But I'm just like, let's go for hidden power ice psychic, switch things up a bit, and that's gonna bring the Gudra really low. So at this point, two psychics, or excuse me, two turns of burn will not knock him out. And at this point, I'm getting low with poison as well. So I can't, if I protect this turn, he'll outspeed me and knock me out since the Trick Room's ending this turn. So at this point, I'm like, I just gotta attack and hope I survive. Since it's we just see the Sludge Bomb, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely surviving that. And I survive on 12. I get my Psychic off, and at this point, I was like, even if I don't knock it out, since he's faster, he'll die to the burn sooner, so I'll still end up winning the game. But Psychic is enough to pick up the knockout, and that is going to be a very close game. So, quite a few misplays. I guess I shouldn't have. I was just scared of Celesteela more than anything. I guess I should have just left it there. After that Nature's Madness, it was done. So I guess I should have just focused more on the Gudra. I wasted my Devastating Drake. If I could have gotten Devastating Drake off on Gudra, it would have been over. Or even a Nature's Madness off, that would have been huge, just 50% of Gudra's health. So still a very close one. I did some, like, my opponent made some mistakes. He let his Rabombi go down immediately. But I mean, that's just one of those things, a little heads up thing where it's like, well, there's no reason for him to protect, so we could just double up into it. So close one, but I put it on top because I'm superior. So that's pretty much going to be it. I don't know what else to say, really. Just keep your eyes peeled for the new team. I'm going to start thinking about it, have it this weekend or early next week. Think about what I'm going to do, get it in game and everything. So I guess if you guys have any suggestions for me as well, like I told you, my friend suggested I do like a Tapu, like a team with each Tapu and each Weather Setter. If you guys have suggestions for Pokemon or for certain teams, also let me know. I just don't know what to build, but when people give me ideas, I'm like, okay, I can do that, and I can build a team around what they want. But that's pretty much going to be it. Keep your eyes peeled. If you want to battle me, let me know. But that's me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.